Welcome, Bryan, Bryan Hackenberger. We are here to build a deck a magic deck to an astrological chart, right? Now,
Sounds fun.
have you ever heard of that? You are a magic professional. Have you ever heard of this being done before?
No, no, the first time I heard of this being done was you mentioned the possibility to me.
Okay. Well, I have to tell a quick story to the audience really quick about how magical this can be. So, my astro twin, who is a totally awesome person but does not play magic, I was like, oh, I'm going to build him a magic deck to his chart. And I built this black, green, and red deck just to the signs of his chart. And when I gave it to him, he looked at it and he unveiled his tattoos all over his arm, which were black, red, and green. So, I think the colors of your deck can even speak to the colors of your spirit and, as represented in the astrological chart. I mean, this is crazy. So now, do you know that you're an Aries?
I do, yes.
Okay, okay. So, what does that even mean to you that you're an Aries?
Yeah, so when when I was little, my mom was pretty into astrology and she'd say all kinds of stuff like you're being so Aries or stop being such an Aries and stuff like that. So I usually caught it when I was being fiery, my temper was up, I was being, extra stubborn about something and kind of pushing back on her about things. So
Yeah.
that's the main things that I got from it were just being aggressive is kind of an Aries trait.
Good job. Actually, look at I wore my red earrings, Aries earrings here because, well, Aries is a fire sign, and I like that you
Mhm.
said when you're having a temper or being kind of bossy or pushy that your mom would call you out on being an Aries. Yeah,
Yep.
it's the most pushy of all the fire signs, and it's associated with the color red. Now, do you like the color red, or what's your deal with red?
Well, I went to Ohio State, so I have to like red, right?
Okay, okay. Now, what color deck do you usually play?
So I do enjoy a red deck because it can be extremely fast and it can be hard for other colors to keep up with. So I do like the aggressive side of red. Um, I would say I tend to play more control usually. So if I know going into the group that red is a good choice, I'll play it. But if I don't know what I'm going into, I tend to like to sit back and watch what's going on, and I'll play blue or white first.
Okay, interesting. So really, it sounds like you're kind of trying to figure out what's gonna win. I mean,
Yeah.
whatever deck will win. That's I think Aries is a competitive sign, actually. I think
Oh
it
yeah.
it is a brute. Like, what do you think Rams do? And how do I mean? Okay, so Rams, like, what do
A
they
lot of
do for
headbutting.
fun? Exactly. They like headbutt for fun, and I think Magic is like a great headbutting game for humans, which
Oh
is
yeah.
like, I'm gonna attack you, and then the other person's like, oh well, I'm gonna attack you back, and like have you ever dealt with less hardy individuals trying to teach them Magic, and they just think it's a mean game?
I have seen some folks that are not very good teachers that they try to break it down to just combat. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I find it's so interesting. Sometimes I have students who are kind of like the codependent type person, or like they're afraid to share their chart details because someone might put a spell on their chart or whatever. But when you've been playing Magic for years, you're like, dude, don't you have a counter spell or something? Like
Yeah,
it's like
it's all spells. Everything's a spell.
yeah, and it's like you basically learn to not be afraid of life. If someone attacks you, you're like, oh, really? And then you're like,
I
I'm
have
gonna
defense.
attack you.
Hmm.
Yeah. All right, so I think it's a good game for an Aries because Aries can't really be taken down. It's a fire sign. Okay, so I have to show you something. I made you something.
Sure.
I drew your chart in full color. Here we go. And so this is all your Aries. You actually have a ton of Aries. You have the Sun, Venus, Mars, and Mercury in Aries, and you're an Aries rising.
Okay.
So your mom knew something about astrology because you're like super Aries. But I'm not going to tell you the rest of your chart. I'm going to go one piece at a time. So as you
Sure.
can see, this is just a red cluster. So of course I had to build you a red, now this is not a really functioning deck. This is just me picking out cards from what I have
Yeah.
at my stash. But I did pick out cards that I thought went with your chart, and I thought I could teach
Sure.
you the chart through the cards. Okay. The first card we have is the Ancient Hellkite Dragon. As you can see,
Hmm.
this dragon is full of fiery flames and
Breathing fire.
yeah, breathing fire. And it's let's see, it flies. I would not say Aries flies though. I mean, it's a earthbound ram, and but it says Ancient Hellkite deals one damage to a target creature Activate only if ancient Hellkite is attacking. So I don't know. It does damage. I mean, as many creatures do. Now, have you seen this card before?
I think so, yes.
Okay. Well, now how do you
It's
feel
a
about?
higher casting cost dragon, so it's not one that's played a whole lot, but yes, I remember seeing it.
Oh, that is true. It costs a lot of money, so I can see what. But I like the name Hellkite because I feel
Right.
like that'd be a good name for an Aries. It's just like, what's up, Hellkite?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's a little bit hellacious. Like Aries is not necessarily here to get along. It's like here to like attack, basically.
Right.
Like Aries don't get in trouble for being like overly empathetic and being codependent and stuff like that. Okay. Here's another one, Dragon Mantle. This is just an enchantment to the aura. It's another fiery dragon.
Mhm.
And no, dragons aren't necessarily something I would say is Aries. Like we don't associate a dragon with Aries. But as far as the cards I had, a lot of these are very fiery. They hurl fire. So it's like,
Right.
no, I have to ask you as a human, do you like to build fires?
Uh, yes, not as much as I did. It's kind of tough to keep the 6-year-old out of it sometimes, but
Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, no, when I was a kid, I was in Boy Scouts and got very good at building fires with just rubbing sticks together and flint and steel. So
Oh yeah, totally. Okay, I'm gonna read you the poetic text on here, which I know we don't really use in combat, but it says, "With reckless courage, Cade embraced the flame. He vowed they wouldn't dare forget his name." So courage. Do you think courage is an Aries trait?
absolutely.
Yeah, I think so too. I think you got to be courageous to start your own magic business. Isn't that what you're up to?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about your business.
Sure. So I've been playing since revised back in 93, 94, and learned a whole lot along the way. I've taken a few breaks here and there, but now I'm coming back mostly because my kids are starting to play. And because of that, I've not only got my experience teaching a lot of other players from when I was just, teaching friends, but now I've got experience teaching kids. And that's a completely different thing, looking at it as a parent and trying to get your kids involved in something that will expand their mind and help them think critically. And I want to build my business around giving parents and returning players the resources that they need to be successful coming back and teaching their kids.
Nice, interesting. Yeah, it takes a lot of bravery to work with little kids. No, I'm just kidding. I love
You
playing
don't get
Magic.
too many little ones learning magic, but the preteen age is about where I usually start.
Yeah, that's when I like to beat them up on the battlefield. When I sometimes I play kids at tournaments, and I'm like, "All right, let's go." I'm
Yep.
not even nice to them. All right, exuberant fusiling. Here's another fiery character. I mean, I'm not trying to be redundant, but I'm sorry, but Aries would play a burn deck with a lot of fire characters. Um,
Especially goblins, yes.
yeah. So, okay, what is a goblin? Like, what is the trait of a goblin? Are they just a jerk, or what is like?
Goblins are usually considered like treasure hoarders, right? Like they're
Okay.
always going out and trying to find trinkets and treasures and bring them back to their cave. And then they're also known for being like mass attackers. Like they don't just come with one little goblin, right? They want to build up an army of goblins and hit you with, a giant swarm.
Interesting. Well, a lot of Aries are army generals. And in
Yeah,
fact, like I'm serious, when you get a really prominent Aries chart, like they'll go and they'll actually work in the head in the army and things like that. And so I think that would make sense. Now this is a warrior. So I did pick this card because it's a warrior. I think Aries is a warrior. Like when rams
mhm,
butt their heads together, they are attacking and they're not,
right.
it's an attack animal. It's not, so it is a warrior. I see what you're saying. This says exuberant fusiling gets +1/+0 for each oil counter on it. And he enters the battlefield, and whenever another creature or artifact is put in the graveyard from the battlefield, you put an oil counter. So he's gathering oil. I see what you're
Yep.
saying. Okay. Interesting. Well, all right. I picked that one because you're a warrior. Okay, here's another warrior, but check this out. Furnace Punisher. That's another fire card. Let's
That's
look
great artwork.
Nice. Let's look at it next to the chart. See? You build it to the chart, and it's like we get this fiery deck. Okay. So what's a Phyrexian anyway?
Phyrexians are like a race that want to take over everything. If you're familiar with Star Trek, think Borg.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm so glad to have a magic guy I can like refer to. I'm like, what is a Phyrexian anyway? Like I've been wondering that for months. So this guy has menace, so I think definitely wait, menace means that you have to be attacked by more than two or blocked by more than two creatures.
That sounds right. I haven't played Menace in a minute. Give me just a second. I can find that for you.
Okay. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, Furnace Punisher deals 2 damage to that player unless they control two or more basic lands. Wow, so this guy's just kind of a jerk. He's a Punisher. He's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna hit you again.
Yeah, so it needs at least two blockers. You can't block it with one guy.
Okay, yeah, totally. My brother's an Aries, and he's a tattoo artist and a football. He was a football player in high school. I think he was a total Punisher.
Nice.
All right, tattoo artists are kind of Punishers. All right,
That was
here we
good art. It would make a good tattoo.
do you have a lot of tattoos?
I do not, no.
Yeah. All right. Kind of wimpy for an Aries, Brian.
Well, there's stories to that. They were planned and they never happened.
Oh, I see. I see. Okay. All right. Well, okay. So here's a different bent on Aries. Okay. Here we have Rebel Salvo. Okay. Rebel. Do you think Aries is a rebel sign? This guy
Yeah,
does.
it certainly can be. I was definitely a rebel growing up, so I
Yeah.
could see that. And
Yeah.
then also the affinity there, that's another like, collection. Um, when you have a collection of something, it makes you stronger.
We have affinity for equipment is what you're talking
Yep.
about, right? So this guy collects equipment basically.
Yeah, whenever the more equipment you have out there, the cheaper it is to play that. So it's like once you get a bigger collection going, it's easier to get things going.
Fascinating. Okay, this guy deals 5 damage to target creature or planeswalker. That permanent loses indestructible until end of your. Well, this guy is tough, man.
Yeah.
Like he's 5 damage. I think Aries can be really tough. I like the rebel aspect of Aries. Is like, speaking of my brother tattoo artist, he's like covering tattoos. My parents were always like, "Oh my God, oh!" And like now it's just like, and I'm gonna do this for a living. You're just like, all right, rebel. All right, rebel. Yeah, I don't think of Aries as a sign who's like a do-gooder necessarily. That's why.
Not not too much.
Although, I mean, you have a Virgo moon, which we'll get to, which is a total do-gooder. So, I mean, I think you're probably a mix.
Yes, I certainly can be.
We're not all one thing, right? We're just talking about the attack part of your chart. Like
Right,
if
the aggressive side, yes.
Yeah, totally. Like if we look at the whole thing, here's the magic player who's like constantly likes to attack people, and then here's the Virgo moon who's like, and let's be of service and be really nice. We'll get to that. That's in your deck too. So,
Oh,
um,
that's the big part of my business, right?
oh yeah, totally. I guess being in business is serving the community essentially.
Absolutely.
Yeah, nice. All right, I love how you've figured out how to attack people of service. Okay, here's another one. Fanatical firebrand. So here we get another fire guy. This is a goblin pirate.
Yep,
Fanatical. I was thinking about that. Okay, so like Aries is kind of excitable. It's
absolutely.
it's it gets all fired up or whatever. So when you go to an Ohio State game, like are you a fanatical firebrand?
Oh yes, I'm jumping up and down and cheering and going right along with whatever song the band is playing.
Nice. Okay, so this guy has haste, which means he's not gonna wait. He's not gonna wait to attack you. He doesn't get tired coming out onto the battlefield.
And that's one of the big red traits is haste.
Oh yeah, and that's so Aries, like impatience. Yeah, that is so Aries.
As soon as it hits the board, I want to hit you with it.
Yeah, totally. Like Aries isn't gonna sit around waiting. Like they're just
No,
like, yeah, let's go to battle now. Okay. If this guy actually looks like a total Aries, you can be a goblin and be an Aries. Ah, okay.
right?
All right, maybe okay, here we get another dragon, just a furnace whelp, just another, fire dragon, which reminding us that Aries is just a fire sign. Okay.
Well, and the whelps like to grow, right? They start out small and then they build up a little bit. You
Oh
don't
yeah,
see the punch coming, right?
oh interesting. That is like a little baby dragon. Oh, like
Mhm.
a little baby Aries. Oh, it's so cute. Just kidding. So wait till it gets bigger.
Right,
That was like you when you were a kid, and your mom's like, quit being such an Aries. You're like, what?
right,
It's a
absolutely.
tiny little thing. Interesting.
Put your fire away, boy.
So, what? Put your fire
Put
away.
your fire away, boy.
So a whelp is that a what's that word mean? That's a baby? It's a
Um, kind of, yes. It's just a smaller dragon. Yeah, young. They're calling it a young, so it'd be young dragon.
okay, interesting. So yeah, I like that you can have a young Aries and they're just equally as terrifying as an old Aries.
Right.
Like people always think you have to like grow up to be like have an effect on the world, but an astrologer would say you just your aura is affecting the world from the time you're little. Okay,
Well, when you're a little dragon, you still have fire. That's dangerous.
that's true. That's true. Oh yeah, little kids light fires. Little freaking pyros or whatever. You're gonna be like the sensei to the little pyros.
Oh
You're
no.
just, let's not light a real fire. Let's just attack
Right.
with a firebrand. Okay, here's a cool card. This is expedite.
Hmm.
See how there's a little bit of fire in this card. It's another red
Uh-huh.
card. So expedite means what? Let's get things going faster.
Absolutely. That's yeah. When you're granting something haste, it wasn't ready to attack right when it came out, but you're making sure that it can go right away.
Yeah, because this says target creature gains haste until the end of turn. So it's like this card basically says that, like the impatience of Aries can be applied to anyone in the team. That'd be like the army general being like, you're gonna attack now. We're not gonna wait on that
Exactly.
attack. Let's go. Let's go.
Then it has the bonus ability of refilling your hand. It's a cantrip there, so you get a card when you play it.
Oh yeah, it also says draw a card.
Yep.
Look, do you guys see how good Bryan is with the cards? That's the mark of a good magical businessman, is they know a lot of the cards. Okay, let's read the poetic text. You ready? I run and thunder follows. Ugh, that's
Yeah,
so
that looked like heat lightning under his feet.
totally. Oh my God, I just made the card run. All right, I'm gonna bore you with another dragon, Flame Blast Dragon. I just have to remind us that Aries is a freaking burn deck, man. Lots of fire in an Aries.
Yep.
In fact, okay, have you ever heard this is like human Aries behavior? Have you ever heard that when people are like, I saw red and then I punched the guy?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Aries is actually said to have more red in their eyeball, and like that they actually that the color red will trigger a lot of Aries. Just like a bull, when they want it to get all mad, they show it the color,
Right.
you know.
That's interesting. I'm not usually one that gets that way. I have a lot more patience than I think a lot of Aries might. Um, it takes a lot to get me that angry.
Really? Okay, interesting. Yeah, Virgo moons are pretty like pretty shy and humble. Like it's like you have an interesting mix of like Aries. Like if you were an Aries with an Aries moon, like you might be a crazy mean Aries, but like you're an
Yeah.
Aries nice guy because you got the Virgo moon, which we'll get to that part of your deck. We're
I
just
enjoy friendly aggression, not like punching somebody in the face.
oh interesting. Yeah, like well, the way I built your deck was I built all of the Aries at the beginning so we could learn that Aries part and really be like, okay, this is the part of you that's like a real firecracker. And then we
Hmm.
get to this Virgo part. Now look at this Virgo part of the deck. See all the angels in there and stuff like that?
Yep.
So like you have to look at yourself as a whole deck. And this is why I love building decks to the charts. It's like because people always think like, well, I'm not a total Aries. Well, it's like you're both and they're both real and they cyclically get expressed like the moon will go around the chart once a month and when the moon goes through Aries we would say you're going to express your Aries characteristics and when
Hmm.
the moon goes through Virgo that Virgo part of you will come out and then so it's like they're both true they might come out at different times kind of thing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Are there sorry are there certain days when you're more cranky than others?
I don't know. It's hard to tell these days because I got 5 kids and they just put me in a mood sometimes, right?
Yeah,
Now, I can definitely tell you there's times that I wake up on the wrong side of the bed and maybe it's me that starts it, but it's hard to tell sometimes whether it's really me controlling it or just the outside influence that day.
yeah, totally, that makes sense because you get a lot of stim with 5 kids of just like
Yeah.
I was fine and then I got over stim. All right.
Well, and you're looking at charts, right? I've got 5 other charts out there. They're all doing their own thing, and throwing it at me. So
No, that's actually a good point. Like, there's a reason astrologers cry at childbirth. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, but there's a lot of moods that a person goes through in their lifetime. Like, and we track those moods to these things called transits. But it's like, yeah, and I think you're actually really right to say that is that every person is full of chi, basically. And the sunlight hits their eyes, it goes down their spine, and they're like a little machine that starts going around and it's got to do this and it's got to do that. And like
right.
anyone who thinks having a kid is easy, it's like making a machine that's going to come back at you and like poke at you all day long,
Uh-huh.
basically.
They all need their own things.
Absolutely. Okay. I should have said there's a reason that astrologers rejoice at baby births, but all I'm saying is that it's a lot of moods for one human life. Okay.
Right.
Here's another one, vow of lightning. Okay, so this
Mhm.
is this is fire in a different way, but it's like Aries could be a lightning strike where they're just like rawr, you know what I mean? Like if they really got mad, they could just like punch you. And I know you're not a punching Aries, but I bet on the battlefield you can be. Um, this one has first strike, so that would be just unprovoked, like when you just an Aries is just mad and then they're not even provoked.
Right, and that makes it so that as long as the creature is big enough, you don't even get to hit it back, right? It's gonna get first punch in, and if that's enough to knock you out, you're done.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Interesting. Okay, so there's another lightning bolt in here, does 3 damage.
Classic right there.
Hey, oh yeah, that's a classic, totally. Whirling strike. Okay, this is a cool one. When the Aries just goes off and kind of berserk strikes you, just like
Mhm.
ah! That's like an Aries just getting mad. Ah! That's whirling strike.
That's a fun picture of them. Looks like they're just spinning through the air with fire coming out.
Totally, totally. But like if you think of like football players, a lot of Aries are football players and stuff, and that's when they're just like, whoa, and then
Yeah.
they just like running around. Okay, we're almost done with your Aries parts here.
Sure.
Blaze, just a classic, like look at that human blazing. That's like you when you were a kid. And your mom's like, would you quit with
Yep.
that?
You could have
Now,
picked Blaze or Fireball. Either one would have done about the same thing right there.
so tell me, are you hot? Or like, do you get hot?
I'm always warm.
Always
Um,
warm.
yeah, I'm the one that's looking for the cooling blanket and the cooling pillow when I sleep because I just run hot.
Yeah, that's Aries. Aries runs hot like this. It's like they actually have a lot of heat in their blood, a heat in their
Yeah.
aura. So that would be true too. All right, we've got two more Aries cards, and then we're gonna go to your Mercury and Aries. Okay, we just have Dragon, Mauve, Flames. I just had to give you a legendary creature. I just had to make you a little legendary because your business might be legendary someday.
That'd be awesome.
We can manifest it. I'm a manifester. You could get this book. Bryan, check this out. Hold on. Scripting the life you want, manifest your dreams with just pen and paper.
Hmm.
When you're an
I'm a
entrepreneur,
big believer in that. So
oh yeah, when you're an entrepreneur, manifesting is like everything. So, be a legendary creature is all I'm saying.
even building my career, I'm the one that writes everything down that I want to happen next, and then the one after that, right? And then I work towards it. So
Well, you've been manifesting this whole time.
mhm.
Wow, that's so cool. All right, the last Aries card we have is a braid. And a braid just goes out and just like grates on people.
Yep.
I think Aries can be annoying because they're just like, oh, they're just like kind of in your face. And like my brother's always like, Andy, blah, 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 Andy, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, are you braiding me? No, I don't know.
So you've got destruction in there too, right? Like it can both hit you with some damage, or if you've got something nice, it can just break it.
Man, you are good at the cards, Ryan. Okay, a braid deals 3 damage to target creature. Well, it says choose one. A braid deals 3 damage or destroy target artifact. So it can destroy
Right.
your stuff. So like the
Exactly.
Aries is mad at you. He's like, I'm gonna break your precious teapot or whatever. I don't know.
Right.
Jeez, that's like when the Aries picks up something and throws it at the wall because they're mad.
Exactly.
All right. Well, that was good. So do you feel like you kind of understand the Aries portion of your chart?
I do. Yeah.
Since I've been speaking your language of Magic the Gathering. Okay. Okay. So now one other thing is you have oh wait, barbed batterfist, that was my last one. Okay, anyway. But now you have Mercury in Aries too, which Mercury is a planet of communication and it's like how we think. So we'd say like a Mercury with or I'm sorry, an Aries with Mercury and Aries would also communicate like an Aries, because some Aries have Mercury in Pisces and some of them have Mercury in Taurus. So we can get an Aries who's an Aries person, they're hot-blooded and all these things, but they're like really quiet, or they're really ethereal and talk about really like religious things. That's the Mercury in Pisces. But you're a Mercury in Aries person, and the Mercury in Aries is right here at 12 degrees if you ever want to learn more. But so I thought there's two cards I found for Mercury in Aries. Check this out. Molten Rebuke. Now, do you know what rebuke is?
Yeah, to kind of throw it back in your face. I don't want that.
Interesting.
Shun it.
Okay, yeah, from an attack perspective, like I think of it like as a Christian, it's like we use rebuke in conflict theory. So like if someone does something you don't like, you can rebuke them, or you can
Hmm.
do forbearance, which is like you give it up to God. But like if you rebuke them, you come to them and you're like, "Listen, what you did was not okay with me." Okay.
Hmm.
So like I feel like Mercury and Aries, like if somebody like bothered you, you would just say something. Like as
Yeah,
you have Mercury and Aries. But I like how it's molten rebuke. It'd be like rebuke with fire involved,
absolutely.
you know? So I'd be like, "Oh no, you didn't. Oh no, you didn't do that." No. No, I don't know. Do you ever yell?
Yes, I try not to.
Okay. Okay. Because I think um let's read the project text. It says, perhaps this will show the orthodoxy what we think of their attempts at indoctrination. See, that's like
That's
rebuking the church. Sorry, go ahead.
no, you're fine. That's probably why it has destroy target equipment on there also, right?
Yeah,
Because
oh
it's
yeah.
another I don't agree with what you're doing, so I'm gonna smash it.
Oh, interesting. That's so Mercury and Aries. It's like, I do not agree. Bah.
Yeah.
Whereas like Mercury and Pisces version would just be like, "Mm, excuse me, I'm sorry." Like it's just a different Aries version. Okay. And then the other one I was thinking was thought hemorrhage, which
Okay.
is that would be like the Mercury and Aries. It's like a fiery Mercury. So your mind's going and going and going, and like you would just think and think and think and think. Do you get like a fiery mind state?
Sometimes yes.
Wait, no, wait, you're a computer programmer, right?
Yeah, I'm an app engineer. Yes.
Oh, interesting. So you would have to thought hemorrhage in order to do that job, probably.
Sometimes yes.
Oh my God, look at this. In thought hemorrhage, literally the person thought so much they bled of their
Yep.
bled.
Either it came out their nose or they blew their lid. I'm not sure which.
Okay, this one says name a non-land card. Target player reveals his or hand. Thought hemorrhage deals 3 damage to that player for each card with their name revealed this way. Wow. It's just like you're gonna think and then I'm going to damage you for thinking. Okay, okay. So that's all we have for the Aries cards. But look at all the Aries. Look at all the red in you. That's your
Right.
red deck. Okay. Any questions about that or comments?
No, those all fit right into me. It makes sense.
All right, well, now we're going to go to your Virgo moon. So let's look at the Virgo moon in the chart. See how it's a brown color? It's an earth
Okay.
moon. The moon is supposed to be your reflective emotional self. And so having an earth moon would be like a practical emotional self. Like in the love languages, maybe a Virgo moon is like acts of service or like how can I help you? It's very practical, but also it's also kind of shy, very humble, doesn't really like to show off. Virgo moons are kind of critical, things like that. They're very pure. Um, I would say being critical is like the biggest attack a Virgo does is like critique you. All right. So, let's look at your Virgo. Okay, so a Virgo is actually a human winged creature. It's a maiden. It's so in the sky. So I thought angels, right? So here's
Yep.
Damriel Seraph of Steel, legendary angel creature. So you're like a total fire dragon angel, basically, right?
Yep.
So it's like that would be like how you're like so pure and you're like, I don't like to yell and I like to try to be nice and I'm kind of humble. But like in business, you might be a total fire dragon. You know what I mean? Because like the moon is in Virgo is like super practical. So as we're building your business, let's be a fire dragon about it. You know what I mean? It's
Go
like
after it.
totally, totally. But this thing says as long as it's your turn, equipped creature you control has indestructible. So we could say that you being an angel, I love that picture. Now I'm applying that to you. I'm like, oh, but he's an angel. But it's like Virgos often make the people around them indestructible by helping them. Like, let's say your kid writes a paper and you're like, let me edit the paper. You know, like you
Yeah,
make it indestructible by editing or proofreading or making them a spreadsheet, or it's very practical, you know.
that's absolutely me. Yes.
Oh, so you do identify with the Virgo. You should study and trip on Virgo because, like, you are super Virgo. All right, so we got an angel. Here's another angel, Sarah Angel, flying and vigilance.
Another
Um,
classic.
yeah, totally. Why is this a classic, do you think?
Well, Sarah Angel's been around since the beginning of the game. It was in the alpha set. That was
Oh,
one of the first good cards that I got buying revised cards.
oh, interesting. So it's vigilance. So an angel being vigilant would be like, just can't be stopped at being all angelic and nice and awesome.
Yep. In the game, it means I can attack you, but as long as you don't kill me, I'm still untapped and I can also block.
Yeah, interesting. So it's like I like a Virgo moon being like, I'm gonna be an angel about this, and you can't stop me. You can't stop me from being pure and awesome. So like you might be an Aries and someone's like, all right, let's go attack some, 12-year-olds at this game store, and you're like, well, let's be nice. Let's be nice. That's your Virgo moon. You're like, and you're gonna be vigilantly nice. Okay. All right, here, check this out. Banisher priest. Okay.
Hmm.
The reason I chose this is the worst part about a Virgo is they're a freaking critic. They're like banish you for not being perfect, you know? They'd be like, that you misspelled that word.
Grammar Nazi. Yes.
Totally, totally. So like the best thing you can the best attack your Virgo moon's got is to be a critic or banish people because they're just not as awesome or whatever. Um So it says when Banisher Priest enters a battlefield, exile a target creature an opponent controls. So you can just exile people because you don't like him. You're like, nope, cancel.
Just remove it from the game.
Okay, the poetic text says, Oathbreaker, I cast you out. So you're like, yes, no, no, like, yeah. So I like Banisher Priest. I also like that he's a priest. Now, what's a cleric exactly?
Cleric is it's a creature type. Usually, it's associated with something kind of like a priest or religious in the game. But it's a pretty big creature type that's been around a while. You can make an all cleric deck pretty easily.
Interesting. Yeah, I liked the priest about it too because the Virgo is so clean and pure that it is almost like it could be like a priestly character who banishes people. It's like it is acting purely, it is acting
Right.
perfectly, and then it critiques someone else for whatever, you know.
It at least thinks it's in the right. Yes.
Yes, exactly. Like the Virgos when they see my circusy background and they see it's got like some coffee stains on it, like this just drives Virgos crazy. And I'm just like, what? I have a circusy aesthetic that's not supposed to be perfect, and it just drives them nuts, you know? They love it. I like to harass Virgos. Okay, Forbidding Spirit. Here's another critiquer card. And it's a spirit cleric. Isn't that
Hmm.
I love how pure. I'm gonna like flood the screen with this picture, but like
Yeah.
check out how pure you are in your chart. Like, so you're an Aries, but you're this pure. Isn't that crazy?
Interesting.
I know it's kind of cool to learn your chart through a magic deck because like
Absolutely.
it like helps me teach the chart to you because it's like it does have a Virgo does have this kind of feel, which is like kind of it's like a purity feel.
Hmm.
And so it says when Forbidding Spirit enters the battlefield until your next turn, creatures can't attack you or planeswalkers. Okay, so it's like so pure that it can't be attacked. He's like, you will respect the dead. I love how he's a forbidding spirit. He's like, I forbid you to do anything wrong or whatever. Like,
Right.
yeah. Do you know this card?
I don't think I played with that one, but there are similar cards like it where you're preventing attack by casting something.
Yeah.
So, um, yeah, that's very interesting because it's in front of the attack, right? It's not something that you'd play during and say, no, I'm not taking any damage like a fog. That's saying, no, for this turn, can't do anything to me.
Interesting. Yeah, so Virgo could be seen as like a protective, like a clean, protective, service-oriented like a kind of a protector
Mhm.
with cleanliness, kind of thing. Which brings me to my next, and I had the moon is like your parenting style. So I had to put in this card, protective parents.
Hmm.
This is a human peasant creature. So they say Virgos are really service oriented. So I think being a peasant would be very I know a Virgo, and he calls himself my minion or whatever. I'm just like, stop doing that. But that's like such a Virgo behavior to be like, I'm a peasant, I'm a nobody. Like they kind of do that. Now your chart's it's super dragon, so I don't know if it would do that part of Virgo. But what about the protective parents? Are you a protective parent?
Yes, I try to give him as much slack as I can, but yes, I definitely reel him in sometimes, probably a little more than I should.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I would imagine that the Aries part of you wants them to go out and adventure, and then the Virgo
Hmm.
part of you is like, but let's be safe, clean,
Exactly.
kind of thing.
Yeah,
Um,
I'll take him on a roller coaster, but I'll also tighten their seatbelt.
oh yeah, there you go. And I like this one because it's a human. Like I think the Virgo sign is a maiden with wings. It's kind of a human card. It's like Virgos are a little bit human, whereas the Aries is like a freaking ram. It's like a beast ram. You know what I mean? So
Right,
it's like you're like a human beast kind of, you know.
right.
Um, okay, so I like this one. Valorous stance. What would valorous means? Like valor. Like
Ah,
what
yes.
so look at that. It's like how would we define valor? I almost want to get out my dictionary.
That's that looks like bravery in the face of immense danger, right?
Oh yeah, so interesting, interesting. Okay, so yeah, I feel like Virgo is it's not gonna let you be taken down because it's like so of service it would like bodyguard you or something like that.
Hmm.
Um, so choose one target creature gains indestructible until end of turn. So it gives like another creature you have indestructible. So a lot of these white cards are protecting other creatures. So that's very interesting. Whereas
Yeah,
the Aries in you might just attack someone, you're just like, no. And then the Virgo in you is like, come here, I'm protecting my
yeah.
children or
It can be
my
a good
loved one.
teammate.
Yeah, totally. And this one, destroy target creature with toughness 4 or greater. So it can also destroy really big creatures
Yeah.
with that. Okay, check this out. This is so cool to see your deck all together. Vow of duty. That is so Virgo. Because
Yeah.
Virgo is like very service oriented. It's like I have a vow to my duties. It's like I have 5 kids and like I have a duty to be a good parent or like even your business is kind of a vow of duty because
Right.
you're finding a way to basically play with your kids and also be a provider,
Right. Vowing to serve the magic community.
Oh yeah, that too. Like being vow of duty for the community at large. That's actually a
Mhm.
really good way to look at being in business. Like I was reading a servant leadership book and it was talking about that. Like you can be a leader of business where you lead and serve your larger community at the same time, and that's actually a really good thing.
Mhm.
So that's cool. So this thing enchants a creature, and an enchanted creature gets +2/+2, has vigilance, and can attack you or planeswalkers you control. That's a weird card. That's weird. But let's just stick to that the Virgo has a vow of duty.
It's it's an interesting one because it gives both kind of an aggressive and a defensive option, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you could pump something of yours, or you could make it so something else can't attack you, right?
Oh, I see. Okay, enchanted creature gets +2/+2, has vigilance, and can attack you or planeswalkers. But no, that pumps up the other guys. I see. So you can enchant the other guy.
Right. It doesn't matter if you pump their stuff if it can't hurt you, right?
Hmm. All right, let's read the poetic text. It says, I prefer loyalty to be a matter of respect, not of magic, but one does what one must. Oh, that's so Virgo. Like, I prefer loyalty through respect, and like, it's so practical. It's not really magical. I mean, the rest of your chart's magical, but that Virgo moon, I'm sorry, it's just super practical.
Do you play Commander?
Yes, I have played Commander.
So the that would be a good card for politicking in Commander, right? For trying to make an alliance.
Okay, okay, I see, I see.
Here, I'm going to give you something good, but don't hit me with it.
Interesting, interesting. Okay, now I chose some other cards for your Virgo moon that are artifacty thing cards because Virgo is also kind of metallic blues and grays, and it's also kind of mechanical. Like a lot of Virgos are kind of like mechanical. So like Gleaming Barrier Wall, well, this is just a defender, but yeah, this is a classic card. But I think I think Virgo is very boundaried in this kind of like artificial way of just like nope, nope, that's not right, that's not good. Like with your kids you'll be like nope, that person's not good for you, or what. It's just kind of like it's got a boundaries thing to it is how
Yep,
I
gotta
feel.
stop it.
Yeah, totally. Okay, mine worker, assembly worker. Sometimes Virgos are said to be very service oriented, like a lot of them deal with unions and things like that. So I was thinking like the mine worker, assembly worker kind of like worker part of Virgo is, whereas like Aries is out there attacking, this is working really hard. And so like your business is kind of an interesting mix of those of like, I'm going to do this kind of working really hard, but I'm also going to be a total go-getter and own my own business is very like
Mhm.
Aries mix. Do I identify with like an 8 to 4 worker kind of vibe?
Sometimes I I'd much rather set my own schedule, but yes, I do like to, head down deep work. So,
Interesting. So another one is the welder automaton, like the whole just like working hard, like
mhm.
automaton, like machine kind of aspect of Virgo, of just like I'm a work machine is very Virgoic.
Well, and that's an artifact that still has the fire deal one damage, right?
Oh yeah, look at that. It's a fiery artifact. So this is actually
Mhm.
a really good example of the marriage of your Aries and your Virgo would be like the welder is using fire and then the automaton is the Virgo.
Mhm.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Okay. See, you're getting your chart already. You're gonna know your chart. You're gonna be like, I learned my chart once. Okay, here's another Virgo thing. Supply drop. Okay, a lot of Virgos are total acts of service. Like, what do you guys need from the store? Like, I'm going for a
Right.
supply drop, you know? So, I'm showing that I think the crowd might really like to see the pictures. That's why I show them so long.
Sure.
Um, when supply drop enters the battlefield, target creature you control gets +2/+2 until then. So it's like it makes someone stronger by getting them the supplies they need, essentially.
Mhm.
So I feel like that's kind of service oriented. And then the last one was 3 bowls of porridge. A lot of Virgo moons do cook for their children, and they're kind of like it's one act of service, but they're not necessarily like cooks like the chef kind of moms who are constantly cooking, but they will cook if it's an act of service, like the kids need some food, like here we go.
Yeah.
So
That's definitely my house. My wife went to culinary school for a couple years, so she does it a lot faster than I do, and we'll usually let her do it when she's, in the mood. But my grandma taught me to cook growing up, so I can absolutely, get in the kitchen and make something. It just takes me longer.
interesting. So okay, let's actually look at like the two together. So this is actually you. It's like if we looked at you with just this, we wouldn't see all of you, and if we looked at just this, we wouldn't see all of you. But so
Right.
I'm gonna actually shuffle them together and see what it looks like.
Red, white is Boros colors, I believe.
Boros, what's that mean? Wow, that's new.
So there's color guilds from the Ravnica, I believe is the first time they showed up. Block and Magic, where different color combinations kind of got their own guild or just named combination. Boros is red white.
Oh, nice, interesting. You're totally a Boros. Yeah, interesting. So there are a few other parts of your chart. If you're not sick of this, I could show you a few other things. I have this many cards left. What do you think?
Sure.
Okay. So now, generationally speaking, you're of the Uranus and Scorpio generation. I'm also a Uranus and Scorpio. I am a Scorpio. So I'm like holding down our Uranus and Scorpio generation. But what this would suggest is there's 1 out of 10 of your planets that does have Uranus and Scorpio. And that's like excitement with occult things, dark things, magical things, horror. It's kind of like Uranus is what makes us excited and rebellious, and us, our generation having it in Scorpio, it's like I think we popularized Magic the Gathering, or I mean, I don't know the exact years, but um like just things being a little bit like magical is like when we look at like the Hasbro games of like Monopoly, like our generation's like not magical enough, like or
Right.
not. So I was looking at your Uranus and Scorpio, and I did find a few cards to just describe that piece of the puzzle to you.
Okay.
Um, Now, because it's Uranus, it's like the rebellious or electrical part of the chart. So it's like when we are feeling like bored, basically,
Hmm.
you want to go after the sign of your Uranus. So like if you were bored, like I'd be like, watch a horror movie or like, um, is this a G, are we making a G-rated show or an adult show? I don't know. I don't
That's
know.
up to you.
Well, most of the time on my show things are more adulty, but your
Okay.
crowd's gonna see this too. I'll keep it G-rated. So yeah, but anyway, horror films and like stuff like that. But Scorpio,
PG-13 is fine with me. So
okay. Well, study Scorpio. It does some other things too. It's kind of naughty. Okay. So all right, but so doomed dissenter. It's a human, but he's a dissenter. So this is how you might like rebel a little bit, is like do Scorpio things. Like you're like the nice dad and you're a Virgo moon, you're like making porridge, and then you're like, and I'm gonna watch Nightmare on Elm Street. You know,
yeah.
it's like a little bit it's a human, but he's kind of this is kind of a dark card.
Well, it comes back as a zombie, right?
Totally creature. Yeah, it says when Doomed Dissenter dies, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. So this guy
Hmm.
comes back as a zombie. That's like you doing
More
your
powerful too.
yes, totally more powerful. So I would say that when you're looking to rebel, your chart would come back as a zombie. All right, here's a cool thing. Etherborn vampire, gifted Etherborn. So also being kind of into vampires is very Scorpio. And he's got death touch and lifelink, so he's kind of morbid, but he's
Hmm.
gifted. A lot of the Uranus and Scorpio generation is gifted through things like magic and occult stuff. Like if you read an ancient occult hermetic text, that might make you more gifted, at manifestation, for example. Like I am a Sun Mercury in Scorpio. Like I write occult textbooks, like translate ancient Greek occult textbooks, and like I'm holding down the Scorpio for our generation. It's like I'm telling you, like ancient, we're supposed to be gifted through magic, is basically what our generation is. Okay, here's moment of defiance. This is when you give your character like a Uranus and Scorpio moment, is like it's a moment of defiance for you. So like I know you're a dad, you're a Virgo moon, but when you have these transits to Uranus and Scorpio, you might get agitated and be like, I need to be a little defiant, and that's why I'm gonna, you know, go watch a horror film. I keep using that one, but like go to the vampire circus. I don't know. But
That does two interesting things, right? That card both makes something more powerful and makes it so that it can tap into the life essence of whatever it's hitting, right? So
so it says
I'm both going to get stronger and I'm going to steal from you.
interesting. It says target creature gains +2/+1 and gains lifelink. I see what you're saying.
Right.
So it's like it gets that creature gets stronger and it becomes more alive because of this dark element that's been
Hmm.
added to it.
And I can drain you, right? I'm going to take
Oh,
your life and add it to mine.
interesting. I like the poetic text. Well, what are you waiting for? Let's not keep the buzzards waiting. All
Right.
right. All right. So, yeah, if you're taking notes for homework, you should read about Uranus and Scorpio because you got it. Okay. And the last one is sign in blood. Like, see how
Yeah.
dark? And it's just like kind of like if your chart's trying to be cool or naughty, like you could just start writing things in blood. No, I'm, I'm not kidding at all. Um, Target player draws 2 cards and loses 2 life. I had a Super Scorpio student once, and she made me a blood oath once. Like I'm serious. So these things are actually real. Scorpios
Yeah.
are okay. So that's your Scorpio element,
Okay.
and then now I only could find one card in my deck. You actually have 3 planets in Libra, and I only found one card, but I would actually weight this a lot heavier. Like I would probably have 10 cards in your deck that were Libra influences. And Libra
Mhm.
is opposite to Aries. Like Aries is like I go my own way and I'm like super brutal on my own. I'm a trailblazer, I'm the leader of a business, like I'm all these things. And then Libra pairs up with one other person. It's usually like partnership or marriage is very Libran because you like pair up with one other person. So you actually have three planets in Libra, making you very partner oriented, or like even having business partners, like what we're doing today is very Libran, where
Hmm.
it's like we've paired up to kind of make ourselves stronger individually.
Right.
That's like Libra behavior. I only found one card, but I would put like 10 of these in here. Run away together. This was there's also True Love's Kiss is a card. Can you think of partner cards in the deck? Or in there's not many.
So partner is something you see with commanders now, right? I think there's actually a partner ability where you can have multiple commanders if they have that. So that's something that you could, look at with that. Then there's also maybe like the clones, right?
Okay.
There's like mirror image, clone, and some old Vesuvian doppelganger is a really old one, where they can kind of be the same thing as
Fascinating.
something else.
Oh yeah. There's some twin cards, like I like those morbid twins.
Mhm.
Yeah, but you get it. There's not a lot of partnering up in Magic because it's an attack game, which is why it's very
Yeah.
Aries. And the fact that you're super Aries and you're gonna run in a Magic business, I'm like, that makes a lot of sense because you're an attacker. But I just want you to know in your chart there's a big partner element. So I think you working with other people to build your business and also just in life is going to be very enjoyable to your chart.
As
Um,
far as a magic deck goes with that, you'd probably want to look at something like they call it a group hug deck. And how that works is you're just playing a bunch of things that help the whole table. And you may have your own win condition coming that you're kind of holding back and nobody knows is coming, um, because they don't want to hurt you. Because if they do, they're going to lose these things that you have out that are also benefiting them.
Fascinating. Oh God, you're good at this. If I ever need to build, if I ever get commissioned to build a deck for somebody, which I actually do for my students sometimes, but like I would do this on commission. But if I ever did, I'm going to come after you and be like, what should I do about this part of the chart? Because like I like sometimes I don't know. But okay, so
I'd be
like
happy to help.
what?
I'd be happy to help.
Okay, that's awesome. Um, I actually am glad to have a magic advisor because now I know who to approach if we have any magic questions on my page and at
Sure.
school and stuff. But like, so if we were weighting your deck, I would maybe put like 12 burn cards. Or actually, maybe I would put like 18 burn cards, 10 Virgo cards, like four Scorpio cards. Like it's like then you start getting into like weighting the deck to the chart.
Right.
Have you have like one, two, three, four, five planets in Aries, so we want more burn cards. But then the moon's really important, so we'd want maybe like 10 or 12 of those. Just a
Mhm.
few of these, but you have three planets in Libra, so we would want a lot of group hug cards. Like
Yeah.
maybe like 10 group hug cards. That's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah.
All right. Here's the last piece of your puzzle is Neptune and Sagittarius. And that's up here. It's yellow in this drawing, but I can only
Yep.
find green cards that
I
um
gotcha.
okay, so Sagittarius is like Neptune and Sagittarius, it's our generation. And we are like like Neptune is wherever you vision and do kind of magical like mystical things, and Sagittarius is like being in the woods, being free as far as gender goes. Like our kind of generation would like vision ourselves into freedom, basically.
Okay.
And so I found elvish visionary, elf shaman. So maybe this is a part of you that is really good at magic and manifesting, is there's a little bit of a shaman in you. And
Hmm.
um it says when okay, when elvish visionary enters a battlefield, you draw a card. So I guess when you're visioning and you're doing your manifesting, you can draw a new card in life. You can say like, what is my new next card in life? You know, but so look at this picture and remember that part of you is a shaman like that.
Okay.
Here's another one, Jiraga visionary elf wizard. There's also like a wizard in you. And then of course I had to do Thornwald archer because Sag is an archer.
I love elves in Magic. They're one of the tribes that work just the best together of any of them. So,
Interesting. Well, that was my long-winded this is your chart, but I that was super gratifying to be able to teach you in your language.
no, I appreciate that. That was great. There was a lot of knowledge coming through that and built into a magic deck. It was just fascinating to see. So I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
It's so cool to speak someone or talk with somebody who speaks the same language of Magic the Gathering that I do. Like we can enjoy the cards together, and it's like when you're into Magic, it's so magical to see what the functions of the cards, and how
Oh
they
yeah.
like, represent the character. So, all right, let's talk before we leave today. Let's talk about what we're up to. So, tell me what the next steps are for your business. Like, what is it called? I know it's just not just a website, but you have larger goals. So, talk to us
Yeah.
about what you're up to.
Yeah. So name of my website is Monocolor Magic, and currently I'm building up a blog. So I am writing kind of educational posts and informational posts about things that will help Magic players. And then once I've got enough out there that it's starting to get a little traction, I'm going to start leaning into the teaching and the teaching kids aspect of it. So right now it's just kind of getting noticed, and then once we're noticed, we'll really dive into purpose, right?
Mm.
So. Um,
So, Mon,
Right now, I'm writing articles about kind of important topics, some teaching and learning topics, rules topics, and then like top five this, top 10 best that, that kind of stuff. Um, and then some explanation. This ability means this, like we did with Menace earlier, where we looked up what it was and kind of explained it.
so monocolor, that name comes from it's easier to learn to play Magic if you have a one color deck, right? Like, is that where
Absolutely,
that?
yes.
So because your goal is to kind of teach people how to play, you named it that. So you're saying like we start with a one color deck and we'll teach you how to play from there, kind of thing.
Yep. Yeah, I've got a beginner's article out there that I walk through um, why it's a good idea to start with a single color deck and different single color decks that might fit your personality type that you might want to try. For instance, I keep a monogreen elf deck in my bag, and whenever we have someone new show up to Magic Night, that's the first thing that I teach them with. Like I was saying earlier, elves just interact really well together, and then keeping it single color makes it really easy to learn. You don't have to try to explain why you need multiple different kinds of lands to be able to cast something, which is that can trip people up.
Yeah, absolutely. I know. I being a good GM or game master is really an art form, and I think over teaching to new players is one of the things that hurts them actually. I think that like giving them a deck they can wrangle and succeed at is like
Mhm.
what a great GM would do. So it sounds like you're being really intelligent about the whole, service that you're going to provide. So how can people find you?
Yeah, so monocolormagic.com is the blog, and then I've got a Facebook group that I'm just starting to build. So it's right now it's just me, but I'd love to get some folks in there to talk magic, especially if you are working on teaching anybody or teaching your kids. So I'll add the link to that when you post the video.
Okay, okay, awesome. Um, and yeah, well, I hope you come over and hang out with the astrologers on my page because I think if you're smart enough to learn astrology, you're smart enough to learn magic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Anything else you want to say or do?
No, this has been great. I think we hit it out of the park here with that chart going through that deck. So I
Yeah.
thank you very much for your time.
All right. Well, I can't wait to be your friend in the future, Brian. Don't just drop off. All right.
Oh no, I think there's other things that we can chat about here soon.
All right. Awesome. I'm going to stop the video. Bye, everyone.
See ya.